How's it going, Internet? This is Jacob with Jacob Reviews Things, and today we're here to do a review of this Spyderco Ronin 2. But before we do that, I just want to say thank you to all the people who've subscribed in the last month, and everybody who's stuck around for the last month as well. It's been a while since I posted. I had walking pneumonia. That kind of took me out of it for a little bit, but hey, it's good to be back. And it's good to be talking about one of my favorite knives. Man, I really love this knife. It's probably one of my favorite fixed blades, and just, yeah, I EDC this all the time. I wear this to work a lot. I sell knives to people at a outdoor sporting goods type place. I don't want to say exactly where I work, but yeah, just for the sake of remaining unbiased, I guess. But yeah, this thing is great. It was designed as kind of by Michael Janich and another bladesmith by the name of Mickey Yurko. They designed this as kind of a tactical, self-defense oriented fixed blade, which we'll get into more of that in a little bit. But yeah, this knife, you can use it for just about anything. I mean, I use this all the time at work. It's just super easy to use, super sharp, and it's really well designed. Like, first of all, you got a Wharncliffe, which Wharncliffes are great. It's a great blade shape. That's what this blade shape is called. And yeah, the reason I actually bought this was back in 2020, I was watching The Last Kingdom and Vikings, both great shows. Not here to review shows, though. But I saw the Viking characters with their saxes, and was like, hey, that's just a cool looking knife. I wonder why they used that particular knife. What was it about it that the Vikings liked? And after owning this little mini tactical sax, I get it. It's just a good blade shape, very effective. It would be really good in a fight, honestly. Like, I've never been in a knife fight, and I don't plan on being in any. I don't carry knives for self-defense. I think there's better options out there, but I've mentioned that in other videos. I won't go off on that here. That's just my opinion as well. You do whatever makes you feel safe, or whatever you need to do to protect yourself. I just think there's better options than knives. But yeah, this thing would, first of all, it's the sharpest knife I've ever owned as far as like the factory edge goes. Like, this thing was so sharp, it was kind of scary to handle it for a while. I almost handled it with like the same caution you would a gun, which sounds a little dramatic, but at the same time, I mean, a little nick with this could be a very deep, nasty cut because of how sharp this hollow ground edge is. And the thing that makes a Wharncliffe, I think, so good in would be good in a self-defense situation is you have the same cutting power back here as you do at the very tip of the blade. So all you have to do is just tag somebody with that tip, and they're in trouble. Same thing with using this for EDC or any other, whatever you're going to use it for, you're going to be using this portion of the blade the most. Just because of the way the knife is, the way the handle is, and it's designed. It's just meant for the tip to kind of always be your main cutting point of contact. I don't know what the technical term would be. But yeah, you use the tip of this a lot. In fact, my knife from about here up, this part of the edge, is much duller than the rest right down here. Just because when I'm cutting at work, I'm using that part of the blade. And the crazy thing about this knife too is Spyderco got it so sharp, and they did such a good job with this CT. Oh, hold up. I always forget the name of the steel. CTB. Hold on a second. CTS BD1N. That's what it's called. Sorry, that took me a second to remember. Great steel, and Spyderco did a very good job with it. I haven't had any major issues. I did accidentally drop it, and the tip kind of, I'm not going to say it chipped, but it kind of bent a little bit. It still stabs and cuts and everything just as well as it did without the tip being bent, which really goes to show how well the guys at Spyderco sharpened this. But yeah, it's something to be aware of. The tip is a little on the fragile side with this. and that goes for the Yojumbo and Yojimbo as well. Those are the folding versions of this. From what I understand, doing research, Mickey Yurko was actually kind of inspired by the Yojimbo to create a fixed blade version. And so I think Michael Janich basically designed the blade shape and Mickey Yurko did the handle. I'm probably wrong about that. I couldn't find a whole lot of concrete info about the history of the design process, but either way, both those guys were involved in collaborating to create this beautiful knife. So if either of those guys are watching for some reason, you guys knocked it out of the park. Great work. So yeah, let's see, what else can I say about the actual blade of this, aside from the fact it's crazy stupid sharp and the Wharncliffe is a great design. Let's see. Oh, so this kind of funky shape here along the spine, this little hump and curve or whatever you want to call it. I read a few reviews and watched a couple videos, and a lot of people seem to think this is ugly. I disagree. I think it looks very aesthetic. But, more importantly, it's useful. Because, yeah, who cares how good your knife looks if you can't use it? So, you've got a place to put your thumb here, or you can kind of choke up. Do not do this. I swear to God, you will cut yourself really badly. Like, it's a good thing they did such a good job with this, like, guard, I guess. Because, yeah, if your finger slips over, and you're probably going to need stitches. This knife is, like, horrifyingly sharp is the word I would use. Like, whenever I cut something with this knife, I'm always just like, whoa, that was sharp. That was a little easier than I expected it to be. So yeah, this hump gives your thumb a good place to rest, good place to be for when you're cutting. I like to put my thumb on the spine of my blades when I'm cutting, or keep it back here. So this is perfect for me. It might not be for you. I'm not sure, but yeah, for me, this works great. Gives you a lot of good options, a lot of good ergonomic options. It works well with the handle too. Like this, you see how it kind of curves down. So there's a place for your palm to be down here while your thumb is all the way up here. This is just a very well thought out, well designed knife. Like I said, Michael Janich and Mickey Yurko, you guys killed it. So yeah, the blade is great. It's ergonomic. The hollow grind is really sharp. And even though the blade is kind of on the thinner side, it's not like thin enough to where it concerns me. You still get a very thick spine, or this, yeah, sorry, I just contradicted myself. You get a good amount of thickness through the knife up till here, and then you can kind of see, here, if my camera will focus, this grind kind of plunges down like that, and then it goes into the hollow grind. So the hollow grind will shred through something, and then this parts it while you're still getting a good strong blade. It's just very well thought out. Let's talk a little bit more about the handle. I don't really have a whole lot to say about the handle other than that it is very thin, and it's surprisingly ergonomic for how thin it is. Like, when I first picked this knife up, I kind of didn't like it. It took a little getting used to. I actually regretted it for a little bit, and then I started using it. I cut some stuff with it, and yeah, my hand kind of just figured it out, I guess. Yeah, the handle is definitely on the shorter side, I guess. I personally prefer slightly longer handles, I suppose, but yeah, you got a good enough amount of handle. You got a lanyard hole too, so if you think this is too small and that you're going to lose your grip, make a lanyard. Yeah, you got these little indents, like scallop-shaped indents, I guess. It looks like they would create hot spots. For me, they don't. Obviously, not everybody has the same hand size and shape as I do, but yeah, you can kind of just see how my fingers rest in there, and it just fits. It just works. It's very nice. Yeah, so what else is there to say other than that it's very ergonomic, crazy stupid sharp? Oh yeah, so one other thing, I think one of the reasons the handle is as short as it is just to make it easier to carry, because if you're carrying something for self-defense, I mean, you don't want it to be constantly in the way and bothering you and annoying you. I mean, just carrying a knife in general, like, you're never gonna, I haven't met a whole lot of people carrying cold steel espadas, if you get what I'm saying. It's just, you want your knife to be carryable, and you want it to be easily deployable, especially for the purpose this knife was built for. And it is. It's just, boom, you're ready to go. I carry mine scout style on my belt, so it just kind of sits above my butt, behind my back, and I just reach behind and I'm ready to cut some boxes. But yeah, this sheath is very well made. It keeps the knife like snugly in there. I'm not worried about this thing flying out at all. The belt clip itself is wide enough to where most belts will fit in there, which is nice. Some knife companies like make just these tiny little belt loops. It's like, how's anybody supposed to get a belt in there? Come on now. You've also got all the holes around the sheath so you can mount it in a bunch of different ways. The clip can be mounted all over in a bunch of different ways. Yeah, you can pretty much carry this however you want. Yeah, obviously check your local knife laws before you go around carrying fixed blades. I don't know what... In Colorado, you can pretty much carry whatever you want as long as it's not concealed. I don't know how that is anywhere else. Just do your research. But yeah, for EDC, I love this thing, man. Part of the reason I bring this to work is just is kind of to show off. I sell, I think I mentioned this, I sell knives to people at a knife counter, and we get a lot of knife guys with crazy stuff. A lot of guys who have way cooler knives than me, know more than me. And this is the one knife I own that consistently impresses everyone. So if you're looking for something to flex on people, this is a good knife. Yeah, I've had so many people like want to trade me for this or want to buy this off me. Apparently, it's hard to find these at the moment. I checked on Blade HQ and Knife Center, and they didn't seem to have any in stock. Spyderco is out of stock. So yeah, it seems like they're hard to find right now, but if you find one, you're getting a really good knife for about $110, maybe $120 with shipping. I don't really know, but I paid $110 for this. I think it was worth every penny. Spyderco has great quality control. They used great steel. You got your G10 scales, which is a great handle material. You got a full tang, so if you were going to use this for camping, yeah, I would totally work. It's sharp enough to where you can do pretty much anything you want with this knife. The only thing I think it would be bad at is food prep, because it would be a great paring knife because of how sharp that tip is. But as far as chopping goes, the tip gets in the way, the guard kind of gets in the way. Yeah, it would not be a good kitchen knife in my opinion. It would definitely cut through whatever food material you're putting in front of it, but yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice for food prep. But yeah, this is kind of just a self-defense knife that can do just about anything. And I love it. Let's see, what else is there to say? Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this. If you're curious between this and the folding versions, the Yojumbo and Yojimbo, I would say they're all designed along the same lines, same blade shape, grind, etc. They're all freakishly sharp, but I would choose the folders if you're looking for EDC, just because they're more carryable. This would be my choice for self-defense if I carried knives for self-defense, which I don't. But yeah, it's so easy to get out, and once it's out, it's so easy to use. So ergonomic. Yeah, great materials, good quality, good company, good design. I don't have anything negative to say about it really, other than it's got a kind of brittle tip, but even then it didn't chip or bend or anything bad enough to where it affected the performance of the blade. It's just something to be aware of when you're using your own blade. But yeah, Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully this influenced your purchasing decisions or was at least a little entertaining. Leave a like and subscribe if you want. And yeah, have a good one, everyone.